Hechal, Boker Or, Masechet Nedarim Daf Gimel Amud Aleph 63A1. Okay, so it says over here like this: Meitvei, yeah, Meitvei. Meitvei. So we're going to ask the following question: Ezohi Zmana Shel Reviyah. What exactly is considered the time of the Reviyah? So this is going to sound very familiar. Habakira, the earliest one. Yeah, Bishlosha b'Mar Cheshvan, Benonit b'Shiva b'Mar Cheshvan, Afila b'Yisrim b'Shlosha. So you have the 3, 7, right? And then all of a sudden here it says 23. Yeah, there's a little bit different than what we have. Divrei Rabbi Meir. These are the words of Rabbi Meir. Ah, very good. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, b'Shiva u'Shiva Asar v'Yisrim v'Shlosha. Right? He says 7, 17, and 23. Rabbi Yosef Omer, b'Shiva Asar v'Yisrim v'Shlosha v'Rosh Chodesh Kislev. So everything was the same except for Rabbi Meir. Right? וכן היה רבי יוסף אומר, אין היחידים ניתנים עד שיגיע ראש חודש כסלו. והמנינן עלה, so he asked the following question, ממש חזרה. Yeah, you guys wanted חזרה? We give you חזרה. בשמה רבייה ראשונה, I understand the first רבייה, להישאל, to know when you're going to say, תמת לברכה. שלישית, you have to know the third one, להתענות, to do תענית, אלא שנייה למאי. But why do you need to know the second one? Right? אמר ביזרה, says ביזרה, לנודר, to do in the Nedarim, right? Which means that you have to know how to do in the Nedarim. What daf was it? 6. Very good. Yeah. Yeah, very good. So what does that mean? So he comes and he says that we're talking about the entire concept, right, over here of when exactly is it going to be considered, right, the different things. So we said we needed to know about Nedarim. There was also about Zaitim. There was a few different answers. Okay, so we said, Kemana, how does it go like this brighter that it says, yeah, Rabban Shimon when it comes down rain for 7 days, one after another, you could do like the first one and the second one. So it says Kemana, like who does it go like Rabbi Yosef? You remember why? Why does it have to be like Rabbi Yosef? Because the intervals were always going to be 7 days maximum. You remember Rabbi Yosef was only one that was from 17 to 23 is within the 7 days. 23 to Rosh Chodesh is also within the 7 days. Rabbi Meir, from 3 to 7, you have 7 days, but you don't have 7 days from 7 to 17, even though here it said 7 to 23. And the same thing with Rabbi Yehuda, you had the interval between 7 and 17. You didn't have the interval, but you did have the interval between the 23 and the 17 and the 23. You did have the interval. Okay? So says the Gemara, Hahu Damar Ada Geshamim. That means until the Geshamim. What does it mean until the Geshamim? Until it's going to rain. Okay, next. Okay, Mishnah. So it says the Mishnah in the middle of Samech Gimel Amud Aleph. Okay, Kunam Yain She'eni To'em Lashana V'nitabra Hashana. So imagine right now it says, right, Kunam Yain She'eni To'em, right, Lashana. A person comes and he says he's not going to drink wine for a year. And then it became a leap year. Yeah, they added on an extra dar. Right? Asur ba'u beibura. So it becomes prohibited also in the regular year and also the leap year. Right? The entire year and also the leap year. Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar. But if a person comes and he says until Adar, so it's Ad Rosh Adar Rishon, until the first of Adar. Ad Sof Adar, but if he says until the end of Adar, Ad Sof Adar Rishon, until the end of the first Adar. So it's mashma from here that the first Adar is the main Adar. Because when he says until Adar, so it's until Rosh Chodesh Adar Rishon. It says until the end of Adar, until the end of the Adar, Hari Shimara. Alma. So you see from here, yeah, Stama de Adar de Kamar Rishonu. We see from here that Stam Adar means Adar Rishon. That's a Stam. So Lema Matnitin, so why don't we just say Ram Mishnah? Is a Yudahi. The Tanya was learned in a Braita. Adar Rishon Kotev Adar Har Rishon. Adar Sheni Kotev Adar Stam. So it comes out, he says over here like this. He says, when it's the first Adar, what are you going to write? Adar Har Rishon. But when it's Adar Sheni, you just write Adar Stam. So it means what's mashma there? That who be'emet is the real Adar? Adar Sheni. Divrei Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yehuda says, Adar Harishon Kotev Stam. The first one you write Stam. Badar Hashani Kotev write Tinyan. The second one you're going to write the second one, Tinyan. Okay? So therefore you come and you see from here that the Stama is that Adar, we just mentioned now, is a Rishon. It's not that 100% accurate. So he comes and he says, right, like this. He says, Amar Abaye comes and he says, Afilu Tema, even if you're going to tell me, even if you're going to tell me, Rabbi Mi, even if you're going to tell me now it's going to be Shitat, Rabbi Mi, Had Yada de Me'abra Shata, de Had La Yada. Right? Here we're talking about where the Sofer, right? Where he already knew that it became a Shana Muberet. And therefore, according to Rabbi Meir, you're going to write down Adar Stam, which means Adar Hasheni. Okay? V'had lo yada, and here we're talking about where you do not know, which means the Noder does not know, right? During the time of the Neder, Shenitabra Shana, right? And therefore, for sure, the Kavanah is Adar Rishon. So it all depends where are we? Do you know that it became a leap year? You don't know that it became a leap year? Like, what exactly is going on?
But why say Stam Adar? I know all the...
Ask the Gemara, V'atanya, we learned in the Braita, Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar Rishon. V'mayita Shana Me'uberet, Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar Asheni. So he comes and he says like this, we're going to ask a question. If a person comes and he says, Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar, it's until Rosh Chodesh Adar Rishon. But if it was a Shana Me'uberet, it's until Rosh Chodesh Adar Hasheni. Mikal de Reisha la me'uberet askinen. So it's mashma that the Reisha was talking about there wasn't a Shana me'uberet. So Shema mina de pshita le de me'abra shata. So obviously we're talking about that for sure that they already knew that it was a Adar Sheni, right? And veha de lo yadan. The Reisha is talking about where a person did not know. So therefore, in such a case where he did not know, then Rabbi Meir is going to say that the Kavanah was going to be for the first Adar. Okay? Fine. Says the Mishnah. Mishnah samach gimel amud. Okay, 63b. Says a Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda says, Kunam yain she'eni to'em ad sheyehe ha-Pesach. So a person comes and he says, Kunam yain, that he's not going to taste until Pesach. Ve'lo nitkaven zeh ela ad leila Pesach. So he didn't have kavanah until the night of Pesach. Okay, ad she'ah shederech bnei adam lishtot yain, right, which is basically until a person starts drinking wine. When do you drink wine on the night of Pesach? Darba kosot. Okay, so it makes sense. A person comes and he says that he's not going to taste any type of meat until the tzom. Tzom here is Yom Kippurim. Until the Sudat Masechet. Right? But that's when people they come and they start eating meat. Rabbi Yosef Beno Omer, Rabbi Yosef, his son, says, okay, Kunam shum she'ani toem ad sheteh Shabbat. Person comes and he says he's not going to eat shum. Shum is garlic until Leil Shabbat. Remember, it's very important. Leil Shabbat shum. You remember as well. Yeah. Yes. Only going to be until Leil Shabbat. When do people usually eat shum? On Friday nights. Imagine a person comes and he says, Kunam, that he's not going to benefit from him, right? If you're not going to come and take a kur of chitin, of wheat, and two buckets, two like chaviot of yain, of wine. So he could do a farat nedarim, shelo al pi chacham. Yomano, and he could say, Klum amarta lemipnei kvodi. Says what? You didn't make a neder only because of my kavod. V'zeh kvodi, this is my kavod, which means that I want to be mitkaved, right, in front of people, that they could say that I'm chashuv, that you're taking, right, that you want to give me a present, as they would say. So this is kvodi, that I don't want to come and I don't want to receive presents, right? So when they come and they say that you want to give me a present and I don't want to come and receive it, I'm going to become even more precious in the people's eyes, okay? So he comes and he says, so therefore, right, when he's rejecting receiving the present from his friend, he's mekayem the t'nai, and therefore there's no neder, okay? Because he's saying at the end of the day, that's my kavod, that I don't want it. V'chena omer, the same halacha would apply if somebody comes and he says to his friend, Kunam she'at nehenet li. Yeah, he comes and he says, Kunam she'at nehenet li, right? Im en ataba v'notel li v'ni. If you're not going to come and you're going to give to my son, kush chedush lechaviot shel yain. Rabbi Meir omer asura she'iten right? It's going to be prohibited for the friend to benefit until he actually gives to his son this kur of chitin and two barrels of wine. Chachamim omrim, af ze yachol le'afer and idro shelo al pi chacham. He could also be mefer the neder shelo al pi chacham. Yomar lo, and he could say, hare ani ki'ilu nitkabalti. Right? He comes and he says that it's going to be ki'ilu that I was accepted. Hayam mesarev bo laset bat achoto. If a person comes and he says he was misarev, right, that he didn't want to come and get married to his niece. Okay, and he says, Kunim shi netli leolam, he divorces his wife and he says, Kunam ishti v'netli leolam, that she never wants her to benefit from him. Because he only had kavanah, v'hana'ah v'ishut, but not hana'ot acherot. Meaning he didn't want them to have hana'ah of, as if to say, like a marital hana'ah, between a husband and a wife. But to do with just stam, was no problem with that. Okay? Hayam mesarev b'chavero, yeah, shiochal etzlo. If right now he's trying to push his friend that he should eat by him, and he says, Kunam levetecha shani nichlas, that I'm going to, right, Kunam, it will be your house, right, if I'm going to come into it, or tipat sonen shani tom lecha, or he doesn't want to even have a drink there, whatever it is. Okay? Mutar likenes levetov lishtot menu, you're allowed to eat. Sorry, you're allowed to go into the house and you're allowed to drink. Sonen, shalom nitkaven zeh l'shum achila u'shebas. He meant, the eating and drinking, not just stam coming and having a cold glass of water. Hadran alach kunam yain. This is actually very interesting. Also,